The Duke, your mama's boyfriend, only on Urban Edge, not just radio.
Lomhlaba esiphila kuwo awusana nendaba, that is Bhek'zizwe, preceded by Beyonce saying smash into you. You're still tuned in to Unfiltered with the Duke on Urban Edge and not just radio. If you want to comment, send us a text or a voice note on 06239074007. That is 06239074007. I did say that today the question we're asking is, would you go to your ex's funeral? If yes, why? And if no, why? Maybe I should ask our guest. Bhek'zizwe voice.
Duke, my man.
Unjani voice?
Ngiphilile mfethu ngezwe wena.
Ano konke kuhamba kahle. Would you go to your ex's funeral?
I guess the pertinent response to that would be, which one?
Woo! Drops mic.
I need to some of these people who have kids with.
Okay.
You know, and they're still human beings, you know, and you know, for closure for the kids, you have to go.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I got you there.
but would you, if you are in a relationship already, would you go with your partner or just go alone for the support of the kids?
For the support of the kids.
Would you?
I haven't been in that kind of situation. But you know, I don't think the partner would enjoy that whole moment, because if the kid cries and understands what's happening, I'm gonna need to be there for the kid. But that's a moment that will leave the partner sort of outside of this bond, which is kind of tricky, you know, to have somebody else have to deal with that. So no, I wouldn't take them.
Okay. Thank you, my brother. Welcome to Urban Edge, not just radio. And this is Unfiltered, my brother. How are things?
No, I am good. I've just had a week of realizations and epiphanies and finding myself and clarity, you know. And part of it you were involved in, yeah. Yeah,
man. For an African Zulu man, you are very polished, eh? You've got a polished English there, my guy. Are you a Parktown Zulu?
No, actually, no. I went to public schools, you know. I just didn't take it lightly when they said read books. And I realized that to tackle the sort of problems we have in this world, you're going to have to teach yourself over and above the traditional schooling system.
Maybe before we get to the current project, I'm interested to know, when I had asked you off air as to which are your two favorite songs, one of them is the one that we've just listened to, Lomhlaba esiphila kuwo. Just tell me a bit about that song.
Yeah, so basically that song comes from a space of sort of complaining that something needs to be done, you know. We can't live in a world that's openly murdering people and doing all these bad things. I mean, some things are pretty much basic needs for human beings. So ziyadingeka. So you can't hang a dangling carrots over things like water, sanitation, and dignity.
Very interesting, my brother. And it comes from an album that was released in 2024. Am I correct?
Yes. Okay. African Stories is what it's called.
Oh, okay. And how has the response been in 2024 with regards to the album itself?
No, we've got some pretty dope responses. It's also been a learning curve, you know. So it turned out that our targeted market is not really the ones that we should have been chasing. You know, we're getting some on the musicality of it. We're getting decent responses, but I'm hoping to get more of the intellectual responses on the messaging of the album.
People who resonate with the message that is in the album.
Yes, because for me the message is more important than the rhythmic elements.
Oh, okay. And then you decided to go for your second project, which is what we are here to discuss, and that is Thungisani. Just tell me more about it.
So this is a more confident version of myself last year. this is one that I'm hoping will cement my voice in the industry, as a voice that is to be listened to, um, and palatable for intellectuals, rather, I must say.
And
Yeah.
who did you work with in the album?
Okay, so I worked with so I've got a house band that I use pretty much, but I collaborated with a band called 251 Africa on the horns. I had on one of the songs, I have my 7-year-old daughter.
Oh, okay.
She's exhibiting those things, that musicality and that vibe. So I decided, you know what, as a part of a legacy and also an inspiration, let me just put her on, and maybe I could start a life for her, while I'm still alive.
Wow, man. And
Yeah.
one for me, for to actually enjoy the music, I sometimes go deeper into the person himself. And I want to know,
Yes.
man, you're growing up. Where were you born, and how was your growing up?
So I was pretty much Duke. I was pretty much born in Joburg, Foslora specifically, born and bred. Sometimes it beats me that my music sounds like this, but I'm a Joburger. I
Yeah.
could have been one to do a mapiano or deep house or something
Yes.
like that. But yeah, so I find myself in this space.
Wow. And how was your
Yeah.
growing up? Where did you go to school and all that?
Yeah, so I went to public schools, primary and secondary. I lived in a township pretty much my entire life. My topics are first-hand experiences.
Cool.
It's
Okay.
things that I had to deal with. I unashamedly keep telling stories of us hunting for imbiba,
Mm, mm,
because
mm,
the
mm.
world was safe then. We'd leave the house at 9
Mm.
in the morning, come back at 10 in the evening, and the parents are not worrying that you're being stolen or abducted or
Mm.
things like that. Hence, I suppose my topics go deeper into those sort of things.
That's very interesting. And you speak about having grown up in Phosphorus and the genre that you would have chosen. It's not something that would be expected of you. You'd most probably be expected to do amapiano. What would you say was the influence in you to tap in this music? And while you're at that, maybe tell us, what genre is this?
I don't know, man. Some of your colleagues in the media and radio have called it, or have called me rather, a genre blending musician, because in the album it's not just one sort of genre. It's a multiple sort of genres in there. You'll get a jazzy sort of thing. You'll get a reggae sounding beat, and you've also have a little bit of a sort of a gospel sound on there. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And the influence, who influenced you into tapping into it and actually doing this music and doing it in Venek?
Yeah, so the influence is a vast subject for me. I grew up from a house that played predominantly gospel, but my friends in the streets were reggae people, were rastas. And then my uncles played a little bit of jazz. So it's all of those things that sort of came together, and that's what I'm spewing.
Mm, mm.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what are we
So
to? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Can go on.
so I was gonna say, if we had to ask specifically the artists, so it's all the rebels. It's all
Yeah.
the Lucky Dubes, the Brahus, the Jonas Gwangwas. That sort of message comes through, yeah, a lot.
So, if when it comes to the album, the project that you're working on, or that you've worked on, and you're about to release, what should a listener expect out of it?
Don't approach that album with expectations. You're gonna be shocked.
Mm.
Um, I had somebody. I mean, you were there.
Yeah,
I had
yeah.
somebody on my listening session who kept trying to put a finger on what it is that they were hearing. They only
Mm.
conceded on the last song to say, "Yeah, you know what? I'm so surprised and taken aback because it's nothing like I would have expected."
So people should not even compare it to your previous album.
Well, there are traces from the same albums, those raw vocals sort of come in, the acoustic thing, because I play acoustic guitars, sort of comes in as well. And the messaging is consistent. I think it's gospel celebration of Africa and speaking back were out on a little bit of politics.
All right. And how do people get hold of you if they want to invite you? Obviously, with you having worked on Thungisani, we speak of a song that would be played at the weddings. How do people get hold of you if they want to book you?
Yeah. So I think maybe if you allow me to explain a little bit of the show. So when that thing that you hear there with the music, I want the listeners to picture that thing live with the full band and backing vocals and dancers. So we give it it's a proper 2-hour set sometimes. I mean, of course, we can chop it down, but I am Bhek'zizwe on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Or YouTube as well, yes.
Is there an email address that they can send the queries on, or should they only use the socials?
Oh no, on socials is there. I just want them to follow the journey so that they don't get left behind. But the office can be contacted at tabo@imbizomagazines.co.za.
tabo@imbizomagazines.co.za.
Yeah.
All right, my brother. Before we let you go, one of the other songs which I'll play you out with is African Woman.
African Woman.
Tell us about that song, man.
That song, it's so close to my heart. Every time we do that song, we get the audience jumping up and down in jubilation. And I like that so much. It pretty much celebrates African queens, African women. It's those ones that wake up at 4:00 in the morning to light the fire, to warm up the water for the kids, the naturals of the house, the ones that make sure that we've got a plate of food on a daily basis. This song is just literally saying, shout out to those people.
That's actually Proverbs 31 woman, he's saying.
They can take it. I give it to them.
My brother, when is the album coming out?
The album drops officially on the 22nd of July. I'm looking forward to that. I'm so stoked. I can't even wait for that day. I'm pushing days, literally.
Bhek'zizwe, Thungisani, genre blending music, he calls it.
Yeah.
And there's one of the things that I actually enjoyed, and that is the lyric design, man. It was interesting to be looking at it and to read through it. It made the event so interesting because it's something that was my first time coming across it, but it was something that you pulled, and it was a beautiful listening session. So we thank you for that, my brother. And
no, thank you. I do agree with you. I also found out about it 2 weeks before, and then we had to scramble all the messaging, the artwork, and everything to put on there so that people can understand the brand and the music, so that put a picture between the music and what you hear, So thank you very much for that. Thank you very much. Appreciate it,
man.
Yes.
All right, fam. Thank you so much. Playing you out with African Woman, and you should enjoy the rest of your day, my brother.
Thank you. Same to you and your listenership. Thank you so
very much. Thungisani, Bhek'zizwe, and that is the album that is coming on the 22nd of July. But for now, let us indulge in what he gave us in 2024. That is African Woman.
This is Urban Edge, not just radio.